Did you get a haircut since I saw you last?
I don't think so.
No? I was going to say, like, how does one achieve a haircut on a... I guess you could do that on a Sunday these days.
Yeah, it was... I did get one like a week ago, but you've seen me a couple
delayed
times
reaction.
since. Yeah.
Well, I saw you up close in real life, and so maybe that's different.
Yeah, and that can be alarming.
Well, because we were side by side, so I wasn't really staring at you.
That's good. That's true. Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like Clockwork Orange trapped.
Your Clockwork Orange trapped.
Yeah, like...
Oh, yes.
Don't do that, by the way.
Yeah,
Don't
no
do
good.
that. No. When I emerged from all of this, Michelle was like impatiently waiting. I should say she wasn't impatiently. She was patiently. She should have been impatiently. She was patiently waiting for us to come to dinner.
Oh, mm-hmm.
It was like 6:30, 6:45. It was... I haven't fallen into one of those computer-related troubleshooting black holes in years. And I totally forgot what that was like. Where you're trying to fix something in your computer.
Sure.
Doing this, doing this. And hours go by. I mean, I used to...
Yes.
I would lose an entire night of sleep because I was trying to... I formatted my hard drive by accident or something, trying to undo it. Like that kind of stuff.
You can undo that one.
You can, by the way. Spoiler alert. You can. Actually, you probably can if you do it.
Well, it depends on how you format
it. Depends on how you... Right. If I worked for the NSA. Now they're listening. So, I don't... other than that, I don't understand how... I feel like I don't get the same amount of time that people get. Or maybe I'm just really inefficient. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just...
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
I do think about that sometimes, when I'm putting dishes away or when I'm loading the dishwasher, when I'm cleaning something or picking up poop in the yard from the dogs or whatever it is. I wondered, do I just move too slow? Maybe I'm just too cautious.
I've never observed you doing any of these things, so I'm not sure how much input I can give on this subject.
I think maybe I'm just an inefficient person.
Well, okay.
So
interesting that you should bring up dishwasher, putting dishes in the dishwasher, because I was just thinking about this earlier tonight. So do you have a dishwasher insertion algorithm, where things go, how they go?
Well,
I already know the answer to this question, of course.
See, I don't think you do. I mean, you do.
But
I'm somewhere. There's a spectrum.
I may not know the extent, but
there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of people.
I have no doubt about that.
And I can tell you right now that that it depends on who you ask. So Michelle is definitely on the other side of the spectrum from where I am.
Chaos reigns supreme.
Well, she's just on the side, you just put stuff in.
Right.
You just put stuff in.
Anarchy.
And I don't mean just put stuff in. The same things aren't even always in the same spot.
Right.
I'm not talking about miscellaneous things. I'm not talking about boutique level things. I'm talking about anchor stores.
Yes.
Target always goes here. Kmart always goes here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big plate always goes here.
Right.
Right. The cutting board always goes
in front of the big
here.
Plates.
The bowls will go here until you run out of room if you have too many bowls, and then there's a whole and I don't care if other people have their own system. I'm not judging that at all.
Yeah.
Other than tines down, people. Tines down.
Oh, with forks.
Yes, people will they'll load them with the forks, the tines up, and the knives, the blades up. And what's with that? Who are you trying to hurt?
Now, when here's the thing, and I guess you've already answered this question. You know those little flaps on the silverware basket that have the little slots in them?
Yeah, I've seen those. I get rid of those things.
Yeah, I was wondering if you ever use those because you
lids?
have to put the tines up and the blades up if you're
lid
using
things?
those things. Yeah, the lids go down in the slots and you put the silverware and
no,
it
I
basically
don't.
keeps the silverware straight up
You
and
don't do that.
separated.
In fact, I've read that it actually cleans better if you have them down. Number one, and it's a safety feature. Number two, and
Yeah, I
you
can see
shouldn't
that.
put things in common spaces anyway. I feel like we've talked about this. The spoons don't go with spoons. If you can avoid it, you go with spoons, forks, knives, and then you move on. Like you can't because otherwise
So that they don't stack together.
they stack
or-
up. Then they don't
Yeah.
get clean.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, like, why is my spoon not clean? Well, Charlie, you didn't put it in properly.
Put it with another spoon. You get
Yeah,
stuck
it's
together.
spoon.
and,
That's why they
yeah.
call it spooning.
That's one of the reasons they call it spooning. Yeah.
So your spoon's spooned.
And it's
your
dirty.
fault.
It's
And
dirty.
still
You can't get
Your
clean if
spoon-
you're
your
spooning.
spoon's dirty because it was spooning. That's right. Nah. So,
Remember that, kids.
but I can tell you that a very good friend of mine, who will remain unnamed.
These friends seem to show up a lot.
Yeah. She.
I'm wondering if they're aware of the level of friendship that actually exists
She
between
won't.
you two.
Yeah, she won't let me play. What is it that I don't even care anymore what the game is that we would play. Actually, Parcheesi, I think it was. Like she won't let me play
Parcheesi?
Parcheesi
Really?
anymore. Yeah, because
70s called.
here's the deal. We were playing Parcheesi, and it was her and her mom and her significant other and me. Mm-hmm. And they're Parcheesi people.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
And
they've ever known any Parcheesi people.
oh, these are Parcheesi people, and they have. And also, I should point out that in her previous life, she was a rocket scientist, like literally was a rocket scientist. She worked
Okay.
for, I think,
Rocket
the Jet
scientist,
Propulsion
digging some
Laboratory.
Parcheesi.
Yeah. So she's even more anal than I am.
Jeez.
I know. And but
Singularity.
she and everyone was up against. They were all so angry with me because I was essentially playing what must have been guerrilla warfare style Parcheesi.
Well, that's how you win, man.
like and I realized like why they were so angry because they're betting on me following a mathematic based logic, because it's all
Yeah.
numbers and
Yeah.
you're trying to game it, right? And not me. I was playing an emotional game. Like I was blockading. I was doing all sorts. I was just being a jerk. But
You're being political with it.
I was being political with it. These are
Right,
not
strategic.
They got so mad. They basically outlawed me playing. Like I am not allowed to play Parcheesi with them ever again. And I said to them, you know what? I don't want to play Parcheesi with you people. And it is the same weekend. God, I'm getting PTSD from this. She doesn't even know about this. Like, and then the same weekend, like the next day or the day, I can't remember which it was. We got in this like almost fight, like argument thing. I'm sure she doesn't even remember it, but it was about the dishwasher, and that I was loading the dishwasher. Now,
And this is you and this friend
yes.
angry about
we
dishwasher.
were staying at this place, this cabin in Colorado for her birthday. It was like this whole thing.
Oh,
So like
okay.
it was like I was loading the dishwasher, and what had happened was, so anyone entering a relationship or looking to move in with someone, do this please. Make a decision. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, it's always this person who loads the dishwasher or not. You can do that. That's probably a good way to go, but it's okay to share that responsibility. Just make this commitment that you will never, ever like finish someone else's work.
Oh, okay.
Because, or if you decide that what they've done isn't good enough for you or whatever, just don't say anything. Just fix it.
Yeah.
I could tell, and I broke this rule last night myself with Michelle. But going back to Colorado, it had been the situation where I had put some of the dishes in, and then she came back later to put, I guess, more dishes in and began like chastising me for my like illogical methodology. Like, why would you put this here? Now we can't put this here. And the thing, and I said to her, I said, The view must be good from the cheap seats, Kim. Her name's Kim. The view must be good from the cheap seats because here's the thing. You can get all like, oh, why did you do this? But you have perfect information now, see? What you didn't know. See, I didn't know what needed to come later.
Right, yeah.
When you don't know what's coming later, you don't count on it.
How are you going to anticipate? Yeah.
Well, the reason when you're loading a station wagon for a vacation, the most important thing to do is to have all the stuff out in the driveway first.
Exactly.
Then you can visualize it and see it, and you play the little Tetris game in your head that you play as a dad, and you go, boom, and it's perfect. Right? Dishwasher, same way. If you have all the dishes, like I'm a big believer, bring all the dishes into the kitchen. Like, bro, just pile them all in there, and then let's load this baby. Now it's like loading a wagon, right? You can't judge somebody's loading based on what like later points in time. You can, because it's just not fair. Just
especially
go ahead
if you have information that person does not have.
Right. You just go ahead and rearrange it then. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I would have
There's
been the
nothing
first one to
wrong with
admit
the way
saying,
you
"Oh, if I
loaded
knew
it."
that bowl was coming in later, if I had known the colander needed to make its way into the dishwasher because you're not going to just wash it by hand for whatever reason, then by yeah, absolutely, I would have made more room for it, right? Anyway, what I said to her was, "Well, guess what? You won't have to worry about me ever doing this again."
There you go.
And then you can just load it forever now. Like every time we get together, you can load it. And you can play Parcheesi by yourself. Last night, Michelle, though, she had these dishes in the bottom. This is the thing I don't understand about relationships. Like, I don't know, maybe Emily's different. I don't know who's more wrong. Is it wrong for me to believe that, like, today's the day that she'll change the way she puts the dish into the dishwasher? Because for whatever reason, all the other times I pointed it out, it just didn't take. Today's the day, right?
So which part am I wondering which is the wrong part? Is it that you think it's going to change today, or that you attempted to correct
right,
why?
What's wrong with me? Place? Like, why can't I just give this up? Like, why am I playing? Like, it's like you're teaching. You're like, I don't know. I'm not even. It sounds so paternal to say teaching. It's not that. It's just. I mean, it is science. Like, you can't like. It kills me because it's like the telltale heart, man. If I'm in bed, I can hear, like, if the dishes are loaded improperly, sometimes something's like hitting up against something else.
Or something. Yeah.
Or maybe and then I sit there anxious thinking that the little spinner wheel is like bumping every time it goes around. It's like hitting a plate or something. And maybe it's not even going around. Maybe this thing's not working properly. Maybe it's just going to break any minute now.
That is one thing that I will do before I start the dishwasher is spin those little things on my own just to see if it hits something.
We should just move in together. Yes.
I don't know if I can handle what you do at night when you
I even you'll love me. I even clean out the little trap at the bottom. Who does that?
Oh, wow, that is cool. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's disgusting.
Hey, we'll talk.
Especially after mac and cheese night. It's gross.
Well, I think that with the dishwasher, there's a lot of things that I think should be set up, kind of like house rules when it comes to like Parcheesi or Monopoly. There should be house rules for the dishwasher. It's like, because that row of tilted tines on the top level, that's for bowls. There's nothing else that goes there. That's for bowls.
Unless they're big bowls.
Well, yeah, big bowls got to go on the bottom. But there's a whole place where you can rack them up, and then and I always do, like the tines are too close together to put a plate in one. Like if you had, all right, tine number 1, tine number 2, tine number 3, right? Mm-hmm. Right next to each other. You put a plate between tines 1 and 2. You do not put a plate between tines 2 and 3. That's too close to the first plate.
Because the water won't get in.
Exactly. There's not enough room for the water to flow in between the plates, so you got to skip that tine and put it between tines 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the bowls. If you put the bowls too close together, it's not going to get enough water in between the things. I am like, as anybody knows that knows me, I am one of the most easygoing persons in the world. However, there are some areas where I get a little, I don't know,
But would you say anything?
analytical, I
But
guess.
will you say anything?
No,
See,
what
that's
I
where we-
do is I re-rack them.
But and you don't say a word.
I don't say a word because
So
what's
does
the
it?
point?
So to
'Cause
this
it's
day,
not, it's
does
not
Emily
a
have
right,
no?
wrong
Does she have
thing.
no idea? Up until that she listens to this.
I don't think that she has any rat's asses that she gives.
Okay, right. No, but that's different. Like saying that she doesn't care whether you rearrange them is different than whether she knows that you rearrange them.
I don't know. She has.
It's gonna be
It
interesting
is
to find
either apathy or just didn't notice. But one way or the other, she has made no remarks.
Interesting. See,
But
and you
yeah.
don't, and you have no interest in reforming that situation, right?
I do not. No.
Yeah, see,
Because I kind of get that
I want
it's
to be
me,
like that.
You know?
How do I get like that? Like, how do I just want to be like that. I really don't want to be. I don't want to lose any like relationship points out of this over these things. I think,
think that ship
but I
has sailed.
can't. I can't bear to see it. Like, because I know it's about. Here's the other thing. It's going to happen. It's like watching. Like when you're teaching your kid to drive or something, and you're in the parking lot and they go to make the wrong turn or whatever. It's just a parking lot. There's no one's going to die.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You just let it happen, and you say, you see what you did there?
Mm-hmm.
When you're out on the road, and you see the person's about to turn into a pedestrian, you've got to stop.
Right.
Right. Well, here's like last night. I'm watching the situation. That's the only way I can describe it. And
The quote unquote. situation.
and I know what's going to happen. She's finishing the load. It's right before bed. She's already put the soap in the thing. The door is going to go up and start. I'm not going to be able to rescue this at this point. I can't wait for her to go into the bathroom and then turn around. And plus, it's beyond my ability to even not say something. Right? I think.
Yeah,
so,
that's not hard to believe.
But the plates so the plates were in the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were all. I should have taken a picture. They were janky. Like one was kind of like angled this way, and one's angled that way.
Oh,
and then
cross-threaded.
we have these square plates, these square plastic plates that were like inserted like diamonds,
Whoa.
like a diamond shape. Like instead of squares.
That's
they were
nihilism, dude.
Because I'm like. The spinning, but of course that's on the top. I don't think, it's on the bottom. It doesn't matter. You don't do
they're
that.
everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
like, it looked like it was chaos. And in her mind, I know she's like, it's fine, it's in there. And it probably would be fine. Because you know what? I'm sure all the times I'm not there to see it, it's fine. Mm-hmm. The
And
problem
yet,
is me.
once you
I
know-
get it that I'm I realize it. I realize this now. I mean, I just can't help myself. But I just don't understand. Like, why can't it just be orderly? It's so nice to have. This is what's so weird. Like, she's a bed maker. I'm not a bed maker. I mean, I will make the bed if if Michelle's away, I do make the bed because I feel like
Yeah, and I think that's a maturity thing. Like I up until I was even like probably 30,
you didn't make the
I was like, I'm not in
back
that very
in.
much.
What's the difference between whether I get up and go to the bathroom, come back to bed, or I get up and go to work and then come back to bed? What's the difference?
I don't make the bed when I go to the
I
bathroom.
mean, right.
How
And
weird
if you
would that be?
do, maybe you're at the other end of the spectrum. So I think, but so it's not like so sometimes she does these, and when she makes a bed, it's much nicer than when I make it. When she folds clothes, it's much more organized and I mean, but there's something about the dishes.
Yeah.
That part I don't get.
She just found the things that she gives a rat's ass about, and dishes ain't one of them. Or at least just orderliness of the dishes. Not like that the dishes are clean, because she's clearly washing the dishes and is wanting the dishes to be clean. It's just how they go in the dishwasher. Not,
Right.
she doesn't fold the clothes before she puts them in the washing machine either.
No.
And I guess part of me understands
don't get me
that.
started on washing because I'm a master sorter. I mean,
That's what I hear
I've
about you.
reformed. Like I have much simplified the process. Like it used to be. I mean, I don't mean to, pat myself on the back or anything, but if
sure
there
you
was
don't.
like an Olympics for laundry sorting, and longevity of clothes. Like,
oh, okay.
oh boy, yeah, the reason we even were able to dress Henry for this first 5 years of his life is because I was master launderer in our house when Alex was a toddler. I mean, I separated everything. I had cold lights, cold darks, hots. You know, I had like the whole mix of things.
Cold
I had
lights, cold darks.
Oh yeah, things that were delicates. Delicates are different. Like I had everything separated out. And
you actually use those different modes on the thing.
Oh yeah, I still use the modes.
I'm not aware of any mode except for regular.
What?
I know heavy duty. I know that one.
Oh my god! Finesse,
I use
man.
that on my socks. No,
Finesse. What do you?
I go halfway through. I'll change it to a different mode.
No, you can't do that. That's not even possible with these washers and dryers anymore. That's the other thing that drives me crazy.
The worst way for you.
The other thing that drives me crazy is that they have these modes where, you know, if you set it to like manual mode, like time mode, and actually the washer's a little more. The washer's even less modifiable than the dryer. The dryer, if you set it to a certain time, I think you can pretty much adjust the temperature of you can do whatever you want. Like a time dry, you have all the options. If you put it on any of like the specific things, like even normal, you can't do there's certain features that you're blacked out of. You can't.
Right. Yeah.
Why? It's
I don't know.
my dryer.
That's a good point.
You work for me. Like I should. If I want to.
This isn't an ordinance that you're violating.
If I want to run a wrinkle release at the end of my delicates, I should be able to. It doesn't matter whether somebody foresaw
this
that.
This happened last night.
Really?
Okay. We had a load of towels, and one of them was damp. And we have a thing where, like, I can't run, for whatever reason, I can't run my clothes through the dryer without doing extra dry or whatever, and have them come out and be dry. And I don't know what it is about my clothes, but it doesn't matter the size of the load. I was thinking, man, sometimes I wait too long and I have a big load, and I thought maybe that was it, that it was the big load of things. It just didn't have enough time, I guess, to get dry. But no.
Seventh grade Jason kicked in. For
I heard it. I heard it.
New doctors, huh?
But it's not because I had too big of a load.
Yeah.
It is because, no, it's my clothes. My clothes just really enjoy being wet, I suppose.
Wait, what about the spin cycle? Do you run it on the high spin cycle?
Like 2 pairs of jeans in there, they still won't get dry unless I put extra dry.
But do you run on okay? Oh wait, I have a theory about that. So if you run it on a high spin cycle, do you always run on a high spin cycle in the washer at the end?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the same spin cycle. I mean, You would think a larger or see, this is my point, though, is that we put the towels, there was one towel that was wet, and I later found out that it was because it was a towel that Emily had just used and put on the bed in the pile of towels. She'd forgotten they were there, or wasn't paying attention or something. And so it really wasn't that one didn't get dry. It was that one was sort of freshly wet. But I was like, oh man, these didn't get dry. And then I threw them back in there, and my dryer refused to dry them further.
Yeah, if just that's the thing. If you just put like 1 or 2 things in, I've learned there's some law of physics involved that I don't know what it is, but it's as if it's just going to turn it around again and again, and then it thinks it's dry, and then it stops.
That's my question.
It detects dryness prematurely.
Is there a moisture detector in there? Because I put
there has to be, because why else
I put the whole load back in. Yeah, I always figured that just meant more time.
No, because that's what the time side's for.
Well, it gives me an extra. When I put more dry, it gives me a time.
Oh no, I know, but you have this.
It goes from like 45 to 60 minutes.
Yes, that's right. But it's I always think it's estimated.
But that's an estimate.
I think. I mean, that's just messing with us, and it really is all just the same thing. But why lock out the features then?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But it was so weird. It was like I can't I can't dry these things if you put a gun to my head because the freaking thing won't do it. It's like my freaking dryer has decided that it is on strike, and I am not happy about this.
And then they got rid of the agitator in the washers, which is just agitating.
Yeah, the towel, the tower thing.
And nothing
in the middle.
gets as clean as it used to anymore.
Yeah.
I think what? Why? Who decided that we're just going to stop having agitators? It's as if like we can't get people to commit
when they went to high efficiency.
We can't commit to getting people to give up things that are destroying the atmosphere, or
Boy, those agitators. Let's get rid of those.
And I don't remember anyone asking me. There was never any kind of
no poll.
There was no charrette. There was no election. There was no. There wasn't a.
I don't remember anybody advancing any legislation regarding this.
I mean, how did this just happen? It's like these guys with cigars in a dark room got together and said, you know what, we're going to get rid of the agitators. No, I think it is. It's like, listen, we're here. We're talking about.
Oh, we're on a list now.
If our grandfathers could hear us talking, they would be ashamed. They'd be like, why are you talking about laundry and dishes? What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
that's
my
women's work. That's what they say.
year
That's women's work.
Smallpox quarantine.
Right. And I don't agree with that. So don't send hate mail about the women's work part. But I'm kind of suspicious that there may be some sort of conspiracy where like we are moving in this direction of oh look, we finally have our husbands and our spouses doing the laundry now. Let's make this interesting. Let's take out the agitator. Let's see what he thinks.
Entirely possible.
Let's see what happens now. What can he get done now? He's going to have to do it by hand, isn't he? And you know what? I have found myself using. So I don't know about your washer, but I have this little like rub-a-dub-dub thing on the top. It took me about a year to. Okay, so it has two lids. Like there's the lid. There's a bottom part that looks like, I can only describe it as, it's like a cross between a colander and a washboard. And you can spray it, like you can shoot the water into this thing, and you can use your hands to like hand wash stuff, and it has like some little ribbed action, so you can get some like the grime off of something. And then I saw it, and then you throw it into. Then you can just dump it. You just turn it up and dump it all into the washer.
Well, that's crazy fancy. I
know,
do not have that.
But I'm using this thing, and it occurred to me as I'm like, I'm back in the 19th century.
This is now Carousel of Progress. It only takes me 5 hours to do the wash.
What am I doing? And you know why I have to do this? Because there's no agitator. And now I know why they called it an agitator.
Ironically, it's agitating more now that it's gone.
I've become the agitator.
the agitated.
Oh, I mean, I did send you a pin a week or two ago or something about chores. Do you remember that? I said
yes.
Because it did occur to me. I think this happened. I think that it occurred to me when Michelle's parents were with us, because things all go. It's all a mess after that. When you have people staying with you who have their own routines that they're trying to like intersect with your routines, and they have their own way of doing certain things, and then they help you do certain things.
Right.
It's like that. And then I just want me. I'm a jerk, so I just want to say stuff like, "Can you just stop trying to help, please? Just stop." And I don't say these things. But it made me think about chores in general, and how, like, I know that some people, like, in relationships, and even in families, they have chore like lists. They have it's very clear delineations about like who does what, and that's just it just is what it is. I guess if they have kids, like they have a chore, and then they leave home, and then somebody else has to do it, I guess. But even in like, in couples relationships, I think that like people have chore, they like, oh, I always do this, and he always does this, and she always does this.
Yeah.
Now we're
You
in
certainly gravitate towards that, even if it's not like an explicit arrangement.
That's what I think, right?
Yeah.
We never did that.
No?
I think that's part of the problem. We never did that. Like we never, just like we never separated money. Like we never. It's like always one big ball pull of money. Like we're not those. You know, I don't know how you guys are, but we're like very separated. It's like everything. Like that's hers, that's his. Like people are like that, or hers and his and his. I mean, like married couples too. Like they're like. They come into the relationship having like established separation, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, and I applaud that. That's awesome. We didn't do that. We also didn't. So it makes it difficult. It's like when you're gonna get something, when you buy something. Like we've kind of figured that part out, but the chore part. And I say this, 25 years later, the chore part, not figured out. Sometimes I do them.
Still.
Sometimes she does them. Yeah.
Now,
I mean, you name the
like,
chore, and
mowing the yard.
Well, we pay some.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
but that's one that I always did. That's
that seems
I
like
would
one
not
that's-
allow her to do it. In fact, I would see that as basically the next, like that's the step you take before separation.
is letting her mow the lawn.
Well, like no, like that would be like her declaring war. Like, oh, I'm going to go mow the lawn. So that way I can signal to all the neighborhood that he's not.
Yeah, I guess that's the most public chore.
You
isn't
can't
it?
see how useless he is inside the house, but now I can show you how useless
Here's
he is
a
even
perfect
outside.
way. Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
Welcome to my brain. Gardening, on the other hand, I think it's okay to that can go either way. Yeah. But neither of us like to garden, so there's that. There's I mean, reaching high things, I guess, would be mine.
Yeah, I suppose anything that makes you like.
I change. I'm the one that changes the furnace filters all the time.
Okay.
I do furnace filter. I think anything in the garage
That
pretty
reminds
much
me, I
is
need to change ours.
mine, maybe.
Not a furnace, but the air conditioner.
But it does create problems because, like, you develop your own way of doing it.
Yeah.
And when you live with me, you have to live with judgment also.
Yeah,
and
that must be trying.
I can't imagine. It's got to be horrible.
Especially with something like changing the furnace filters.
Well, no, because then,
from
me, I'd be
frequency-
sitting there with anxiety thinking, like, did you put it in the wrong way? Like the arrows? Because even I struggle with that sometimes. Like, you pull it out, you're like, did I turn it before I sat it down, or did which way's the wind blowing? And don't you've been here, where you start to try to figure out, like, which way is the wind blowing?
Right, yeah.
So you wet your finger and stick it in, see if you can feel it. No, it doesn't work. Maybe a little piece of paper or something, but you can't. But then you have to be afraid that it's going to go up into the system. Mm-hmm. And then you start thinking like an engineer, like, okay, wait, how does this have to work?
Right.
Based on where the thing's
It's always those
coming.
inline filters. Like if it's one of those return vents that are in the wall, that one's easy. It goes into the wall. But it's when it's in the middle, when you're sliding it into the duct or whatever. Now you got to be like, oh crap, where's the?
Yeah, when these are in the furnace itself, or within the air handler, like these go in.
And
the
how
air.
bad is it if I put this in backwards?
Well, it's
Like,
gotta
is
be
it
terrible
really
because the one
bad?
side is designed completely different than the other. The one
Well,
side
yeah,
has
but I
metal
mean-
reinforcements.
Okay, but I mean,
It's like-
what? How catastrophic of a failure will it?
It must
potentially
be bad
cost?
enough that one side needs metal and the other side's just paper. That's the way I see it. Like,
But like I'm thinking, like if you put in if you have like a ROM chip, you don't even have to do this anymore on computers. But before, when you instead of flashing your ROM, you would have to buy a new ROM chip with put it in there. If you put that in backwards, it destroys the chip completely. And so from that to nobody really cares, because you got like things that you plug in the wall, and like one side is bigger than the other. But if it's not bigger than the other, if you do plug it in backwards, it's okay. It's fine. It doesn't do anything. But so it's got to be somewhere in between those two, and I don't know which one it is.
I just know that I would be anxious. I check the locks at night.
It's dangerous for a different reason, for psychological warfare reasons. You would never sleep until you got that sucker turned back around.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to night sleep because, as I mentioned, though I sort of alluded to this earlier, that I had a fire, or a smoke detector
Yeah, you
go
said
off.
some of those smoke alarms, yeah.
5:25 this morning.
It's always in the morning.
Yeah, and okay, here's the other thing. So, me, it's pitch black sleep needs. I didn't. It usually requires shutting our bedroom door completely, and the dogs are in with us, and everything's fine. Last night is one of the nights where I had to sleep with the door ajar, because Luna was in Henry's room, just kind of lounging, and so, but she won't commit to being there all night.
Right. Yeah.
So usually, at some point in the middle of the night, she'll wake him up and be like, let me out," and then he opens his bedroom door, and then she goes, and then she walks into our bedroom, and that's it. Usually jumps up in the bed and wakes me up. So I slept with the door ajar because I didn't want her to get trapped out there, because I'm not a jerk in that way, just in other ways. And
Selective jerk.
And so I woke up to this alarm, like this. It was like a beep, 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 beep. Just one.
So,
now, when we have a smoke detector thing go off, like they all go off. It's like a chain reaction kind of thing.
The cacophony of.
This was just the one, and I couldn't even tell, like, where is that coming from? So of course I get up. I'm worried, like, maybe there's a fire. Now I'm in fireman mode. There's no chance I'm going back to sleep.
Right.
I mean, I'm up. So get up. Even the dogs are looking at me like, really, already? Like I know.
Dude, sleep in.
And then Michelle wakes up. She's like, what's that? So she comes in. So now it's a thing. And we're going back to the kids coming from the kids' hallway area. And then it's like, and then it goes again. Beep, 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 beep. I can't figure, like, where is it? But it wasn't doing it frequently enough that we could, like, track it down.
Yes.
So is it Henry's room? Because he's in there asleep. Is it the hallway, the kids' hallway? I don't think so. Maybe it's in Alex's room, which is there's no one in there, and then the door's shut. So so I go in there and I look, and then I notice that the smoke detector is like, I must have gotten detached. Maybe it wasn't it wasn't screwed in all the way. So the top part's hanging off, and by the wire nuts, or like, and it's kind of dangling there like that. But when I opened the door, it wouldn't do it again. It never did it again. All day today, it didn't do it again. And my plan is tonight, when I go home, is to put a new battery in it, assuming we have 9 volts. I didn't think to look, because I assume it's like the backup battery. The 9-volt backup is probably bad or whatever. But then I was like, well, why would it stop when the door opened? And then I read more about, because of course with me now I'm up, so I might as well do research. And apparently that, like, the reason that these things always seem to happen in the middle of the night is because that's when the house is the coolest, and when it's the coolest, I think it increases the resistance within the circuitry.
Oh,
and
really?
Then that can then, if the battery is like
makes it a little bit
low,
more sensitive or something.
Yeah. Or something. But it's the only thing I can think of is, like, by opening the door, we changed the dynamics in the room's atmosphere enough that it didn't do that anymore. Like, that's how cuspy it was. But I tell you, these smoke detectors that are wired, they scare the bejesus out of me, because I'm like, there's electricity coursing through this thing, and I just want to put
the battery.
Well, no, batteries, you can stick those 9 volts in your tongue and you get that little shock thing. It's fine. But like
yeah,
that's, but the battery,
like
you know, put the batteries on. So I just like
full blast 120 volt.
It's not a good thing.
Detector.
Not a good thing. So so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this tonight. And I'm still, but even though I'm going to replace the battery, you know that I am going to be sleeping with one eye open all night, waiting for it to start again.
Yes, I do.
And you know I'm going to have to sleep with the door open because I need to be able to hear it. I don't think I would have heard it if the door had been shut. Maybe I would have.
Which actually would be a better outcome, I would think.
But if the house is actually on fire, that's the thing. Like, what if like tonight, God forbid, the night where I actually have to worry about something being like the room full of smoke, and I hear it, and I'm like, it's just the alarm. Yeah, it's just that battery. I got to deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah. Our one of our smoke alarms did a similar thing. This has been a while back now, and I haven't replaced it yet.
Since the podcast episode?
But it's no, actually, that one was one working exactly the way it's supposed to be. So kudos to that one. But no, like again, like at 3:30 in the morning, and this is loud as hell. I mean, and it's kind of like you said, it was like beep, beep, beep. And so I wake up, and I climb down off the ceiling. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck was that? And then, nothing is happening. And I'm like, I guess, did I dream this? I mean, what happened? Because it's very silent. And whoever designed these daggum things decided to make the unit is failing alarm be 3 beeps and 10 minutes of silence. And then 3 beeps again. Because I sit there, I wait, nothing. Okay. I guess I just dreamed it, or it was a fluke or something.
It's outside, the car
and
backing up.
And then I went back to sleep.
Neighbor's house.
And then here it comes again. And, we have like 30 of these stinking things all through this house. And so all I knew is it wasn't the one that's in the bedroom. So the next time it comes out, I was like, well, this is obviously going to go on all night, so I need to do something about this now. And so I get up.
It's your chore. This is
my chore because, yes.
Because you're reaching high things. You're tall.
Right. Yeah. And so it beeps up. I get off the ceiling again because it scared the bejesus out of me again. And so I go out there, and I have no choice but to stand at the top of the stairs, in the top floor, in my underwear.
Just wait.
And wait. And stand there like a moron, just waiting. In the complete dark, because I don't want to further wake her up. But I'm just kind of standing there. And I feel, and it's one of those things where it's like I used to have a friend who lived.
Get a glass of milk.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well have. But I had a friend one time that lived down this highway that went out of town, basically. And he said, you'll go far enough to where you think you've gone too far. It's the next right after that point. To the point where you have given up and you think and he was exactly right. He was exactly right. As soon as I was like, I have to have gone too far. It was indeed the next right. And it's like that. It was sort of like, it's just, I don't think it's going to happen this time. And so you walk back into the bed, and on your way back to the bed, beep, beep, oh, what the? And then so I have to go back out there and wait again. And the thing is that these guys that design it and decide to make it this massively intermittent thing where you can't friggin' find it, also have decided not to put a corresponding light signal on the friggin' one that's going wrong.
I would pay so much more money. Just give me another light. Just give me another light, or
just make it blink really fast. Yes. Just some indicator as to which one of these things is going bad. So finally, I figure it out because like the 4th iteration of this friggin' alarm thing, I finally am standing under the one that
you're like triangulated.
Yes, exactly. Because And the ceilings you've seen the place. The ceilings are like 12 feet.
So where's your ladder? How are you gonna get to it now?
Exactly. Now that I've discovered it, it is hopelessly out of reach. It is 3:30, well, probably 4 now in the morning. I am in my underwear, and I'm also in 4 o'clock in the morning mindset. So like, I'm not thinking right. I'm really wanting to be back in bed. I'm already extremely angry at every smoke detector on earth. I'm like, let it all burn. I hate smoke detectors. They're terrible. I'm ready for smoke detectors themselves need to burn right now. And so, of course, what I decide to do in my brain at the time is, that it's where that wall that goes around where you go down the stairs, right? So you don't walk off.
Which is really important for you.
I push, I have my hand on the wall. Yeah. I put my leg on the top of that thing, and I step up, and this is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. And then I pull it and I pull it out, and it's a wired one.
Night, you're stepping on this thing?
Yeah, because I am not and this has become almost a matter of principle. I am not going down to the garage and getting the ladder. I am not going to do that for you. I'm to the point where I am actually like verbally accosting.
Isn't it weird that they haven't come up with like Pottery Barn hasn't come up with like a ladder that you just keep in the house? Like, have you ever noticed like everywhere you need to have the ladder is like the garage is the last place. I've never needed a ladder in the garage.
In the garage, yeah. Right. I know.
Like, so why do we store it there? Like, it should be out amongst us. Like, it would be like, oh, well, here's the ladder.
Right, sort of a decorative thing almost.
Yes.
But that also can turn into a ladder if you need it.
Yes, make it look nice.
Yeah. That's a good point. They should make that.
Or an under the bed ladder. I don't know, something like that. It just doesn't. I don't have to go out into the garage or the shed.
Yeah. And of course,
we brought the toilets
you've also
inside.
seen our garage. It's a 2-car garage, and what that means is a 2-car garage, not a 2-car garage. Right. 2 cars plus a box. No, 2 cars. That's what you get. So if I have to get the ladder out of the garage, I'm doing the crawling across the building, on the ledge, trying not to fall off, kind of thing. We're sliding through,
Now you're opening the garage door.
At 4 in the morning, I'm going to move my car. I don't want to get the ladder in the first place. But so it's just untenable. And so so I was crawling around, hoping I didn't fall and die, but in that mindset where I was kind of okay with it if I did. And so
ironic.
I pulled it down.
The thing that's supposed to save my life is what's going to kill me.
Right. Because these things are obviously
would it kill them to have would it kill them to like these things run for years? I mean, I know that the batteries wear down and yada yada, but yours is probably hardwired as well.
Yeah, it is.
So, but the battery's just a backup, so it's not pulling energy out of the battery like the old ones used to, where you legit had to change them every 6 months, the batteries. And I know that's what the fire department still tells you to do, right? I think they're in cahoots with the battery makers.
These guys in Duracell,
right? But I couldn't they put some sort of can't they see that it's nighttime? Can't they see like can't it just look? I understand it's a security thing. So if there's real smoke or fire or whatever, carbon monoxide, by all means, please let us know whatever time it is. Okay, don't. But if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're detecting that the backup battery, not that you're out of power, that the backup battery is getting low. How about you just wait until it's light?
Right. You can sense carbon monoxide. You can sense smoke. Sense some light.
And they have photoreceptor versions of them. They have these. I don't. And I know I could get. I'm sure. Like I have a Nest carbon monoxide smoke detector thing also, that I love because like I can tell it not to test this. I was in San Francisco once, and so this is when we live here, right in Florida, and I was in San Francisco, and I got a notification on my phone that the carbon monoxide detector, the Nest carbon monoxide detector was about to self-test. Like, so it goes through this thing and like the alarm goes off and everything else. Well,
yeah.
this was all going to be unbeknownst to anyone in the house.
It's a total surprise to them.
Yeah. So I was fortunately, because I got the alert, I was able to like, no, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And it didn't do it.
There you go.
So it's a beautiful thing, but they're so expensive. You can't pepper your ceilings with, you know, with these devices because they're like $300 a pop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but
just,
maybe something in between, like
and
okay.
Can we let the 9-volt thing go? Can we go to double A's?
There's a whole industry that would disagree with you about that.
I mean, what is up with the 9 volts, and why are smoke detectors like exclusively 9-volt batteries? I have seen many interesting and very powerful devices run off of AA batteries. I don't know why.
Well, no, I mean,
what else do you buy them for?
What about those things that require C's every once in a while? You get the C's.
I haven't seen anything require anything but a AA or AAA.
No, I have
recently. I mean, back in the day, you know, your boombox is 20D batteries. But
find the need for C's. You're like, why? Well, like flashlights would sometimes
There's
take
some flashlights,
D's,
yeah.
right? The D's or C. What are the big D's are bigger
C's
than C's
usually. D's are bigger than C. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to B?
That is a thing. I looked that up one time because I had the exact same question.
Battery?
But it's like it's not something that like consumers buy.
It's not like that weird. It's not like that one that looks like a can that you stick in a big flashlight, is it?
No,
like a lantern
I don't think so.
or something. That
I mean, presumably it would be somewhere between. Is there not also a single A? You know, I don't know what that is either. But
oh, there's great. There's AAA.
It's kind of like Channel 1. Like, what, you know, why do television start on Channel 2? Channel 1 is a government channel.
Because you don't say A battery. Oh, because it's A battery. Could you give me an A battery? Could you give me AA battery? It doesn't work.
They don't want to cause confusion.
Can you give me A battery? Well, yeah. And then they bring you a D, and you're like, I asked for an A. Like, you said A battery. That's a whole bit. I think Abbott and Costello probably resolved this.
Could you bring me an battery?
Can you bring an A battery, please? That's probably why. I'm sure of it.
That's exactly why. They're like, wait, we got way too much Abbott Costello going on. We do not need more.
Do this exactly.
I think that was around the time that they made that decision. You know, the 40s, 50s, whenever Abbott and Costello was.
But you. So okay, see, you were the one to get up at 4:30 in the morning and go do this. And so, are you the one who also replaces the batteries generally in the smoke detectors, or you haven't had to face that yet?
Yeah, you're the one to do that. Yeah.
So, I don't understand. Like, how did these kinds of things get figured out? Is it just because you moved first? Like, if you stayed in, so what would have happened if you just laid there in bed? Randy lay there like a slug. It was his only defense. Like, what happened what would have happened if you just pretended you can't hear a thing? Sound asleep.
Well, I think then she'd be the one crawling around on the thing, and I'm a little more sure-footed than she is, so that would I probably averted disaster on that.
You're more graceful than Emily?
She's a little bit more clumsy than I am.
Huh. Okay.
Just a little. That's all.
I mean, I can believe that, I guess, but I don't see that, but...
Well, you wouldn't, right?
I guess. I think, I just don't know... See, you. It's like... So you're worried for her. You're worried for her safety is what you're worried for.
Yeah, and the fact that she gets a lot more frustrated with that kind of stuff than I do.
But you think that's? You think she does that because, like, as a way to like get you to do it
as a manipulation? I would be very impressed if that were the case.
I think you.
I'd be like, wow, okay.
I think you may be selling her short.
That's all right.
Oh, honey, you're so big and strong and tall. Why don't you go handle that?
You don't get mad about this stuff.
Okay, you're so short. You're so much more short-footed than me. 4
a.m, I was kind of cheesed, but so here's a question kind of along those lines. When you I have utterly forgotten what I was going to say now.
Well, like it can't have been good then, because was it related to chores?
It was related to chores.
Was it related to?
We were talking about like.
Was it an emasculating thing? Was it?
No.
Was it related to dishwashers or lawn? Let's go through the house.
We were just talking
Is it inside
about
the house or outside the house?
who's the one that gets up out of the bed.
Yeah. To reach the tall things, to do the dangerous things, to
Sure-footed.
yeah, sure-footed.
I was more.
Sure. Yeah, that was Emily. She was not the sure-footed.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so you find yourself waking up way before you usually do, but you're ready to get up. Mm-hmm. Because you've resigned yourself to the fact that you are not getting back to sleep for
Have
whatever
you tried
reason.
to get back to sleep, or you just decided?
Maybe. I mean, sometimes you can tell.
Okay.
All right, your eyes just go, and like, all right, my day has begun, whether I want it to or not.
Is it still dark out?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, but this is you in this hypothetical.
This is me.
How stealthy are you when you go about your business in the bedroom before
Ninja-like. Ninja.
Yes.
I'm a ninja.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't understand. I don't even sometimes. I plan. It's like a battle. You don't understand. I have everything in the same place. I have these like exercise shorts that I usually will put on in the morning and a shirt that I'll like, so that way I know I'm going to wear that. I'm not in my boxers when I walk outside to go for my walk. Like I have it all, like I have it sitting right next to the bed. I even have the order of things. Like the shorts are on top of the shirt because the shorts have to go on first and then the shirt, right?
And so that like in complete blackness, you can.
I know exactly where I'm reaching
thing.
and what I'm getting, and my slippers are right over here. Like I've got this down. Okay. And my watch is always in the same place, and my phone's always in the same place. Okay. If I'm in stealth mode, I will actually gather all my things: the watch, the phone, the shorts. Yes, I will put on slippers and have nothing else on but underwear. I'm that guy walking out into the kitchen with I look like the jerk. I look like Steve Martin. I'm carrying
all I need.
I'm carrying my bundle of clothing and my phone and my watch, and I'm wearing
paddleball
slippers
game.
and I'm in my underwear. Yes, I will leave, and the dogs then, of course, the dogs are coming behind me. I have to now keep them quiet too, because if I'm up, they're up. They're up. So unless it's like 3 a.m. and I'm actually not committing to be up, that's a different story. But if it's like say 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm going to be up. Then they're coming with me, and then I don't even turn. Remember, I have a sound machine playing through my Amazon-enabled device, like the sound thing playing, and then I have it also on my phone playing.
Oh.
I don't turn it off until I'm out of the room.
No, that's good. Masks your masks.
Because
also
like the sudden cutting off of the noise, I'm afraid with, like, even though there's the other one backup going, like for me, I know I would wake up. So like I'd take it all out and then just walk out with all my stuff, and I'll dress. I will assemble myself out in the kitchen. If it's like a more normal time, say 6 a.m. The sun has begun to come up, like it's normal time. Even though I will get up and Michelle's still asleep, I don't feel the same obligation to remain ninja-like.
I'm with you.
I just am quiet then.
Yeah,
I don't start singing like songs or anything, and I don't turn. Oh my God, I don't turn the closet light on or the bath. Like some people do sometimes.
Yeah, well, see, that was what I was going to wonder: is that do you find that this is reciprocated? This stealthiness.
I think there's attempts. So you don't understand. Like I will wake up from like Michelle has tried to close the bedroom door quietly. When I close the bedroom door quietly, let me explain to you how deep my commitment runs here. Like when I'm closing the door quietly, it's two-handed action.
Oh yes, yeah.
One hand on the handle,
right?
It has it fully turned.
Twist the knob, yeah.
Pulling it shut. The other hand in the gap.
In the gap to where if you went hard, you'd hurt your finger.
Yeah.
Right. So I close the door on my finger and then slip the finger slowly out.
So there's no thumb.
Letting it go in. Yeah.
And then you grab, and then you
release the door slowly. Yep.
And you step back and take a bow.
I'll do that with the drawer pulls on my chest of drawers. If there's some reason I need to get
you gotta have the finger.
You lay them down.
Yes. Yes.
Now I don't think that Emily's ever woken up before me before, so I don't
so
know.
You don't really know.
You
haven't A/B
the
tested
other direction.
This. Yeah. Yeah.
I am Captain 6 at the latest guy.
The only time I pass judgment in that situation is when the light in the closet goes on, because I just feel like that's a failure to prepare, like kind of thing, and then it's on forever.
Yeah.
And like, I'm awake. Trust me. If you left the bed, I'm awake. Like I am awake. The question is whether I'm going to get back to sleep or not.
Right. Yeah.
So the importance there is no light, and please, for the love of God, keep the dogs from barking. I manage, man. I can get through like a 2-3 hour period of time in the morning without one single bark from the dogs. I can read them. I have an order to things. They have an expectation. Like, they know. Like, I mean,
they laid it out for you.
Oh yeah, they know. They like, okay, we do this, we're here, and there, and Zofie, the Aussie, like, she knows the next move. Like, okay, if he's going over, she's so, like, they get this medicine in the morning, and she knows. I can reach for all sorts of other jars of, like, vitamins, blah 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 things. She doesn't come into the kitchen. I get the bottle that has hers. Immediately comes in, sits down, just waits. Luna, I have to call, like, come on, Luna, come on. She's like, she wanders in, like, what? Okay, I guess we're doing this now. As soon as Zofie gets her medicine, then she goes. The next move is to the food bowl. But she doesn't go to her bowl. She sits at Zofie. She sits at Luna's food bowl for whatever reason. I don't understand, because it's the one I have to pass on the way to the pantry, I think. And so then, as soon as I pass her, then she goes by her food bowl and waits in silence.
Got a whole routine.
Oh yeah, and I get the food, and again, Luna's like laying back on the sofa. She's like, "Oh, I gotta get up again." Okay, and then as soon
these
as
dogs are remarkably like you and Michelle.
And as soon as they're finished eating, Zofie usually finishes before Luna, but I feed Luna first so that she has a head start, because she's not as, like, committed to it. And then they're ready to go outside because they've eaten. And then I take them outside. I let them out in the yard. And I come back in and start making my tea. And then I grab either a little bag of treats, or usually, actually, it's the bullies, like the bully stick things. We've talked about that. And I bring that out. And either they're already waiting there at the door, like at the screen door to the lanai for me, or they will come as soon as they just hear the bag, like jingle, 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 like the little, like the bag crinkly, coming over to me. They love it. It's like I don't know, it's like the best drug ever. And then I give them each one, and then they both run in and go to their spots, and they sit there and they chew on the bullies. And then
so he talks bad about the neighbors.
Then I get to sit there, and read the newspaper, or do whatever I'm going to do. If I went out and got the newspaper, which I hadn't done yet, but in my story, but anyway, or answer email and have my tea, and they sit there, and it's fine, and it's oh God, it's blissfully quiet. And there's no other human being to contend with. And now you understand why.
The smoke alarm goes off.
When someone gets, and then and then someone gets up, and then I'm like, oh, it's good that you're up, but now there's barking.
Your solitude time has been curtailed.
And I've noted, like, the dog, it's all about the routine. Like Zofie doesn't bark. Like, she barks because she wants something, right? It's not like she's not just being a jerk. Like, she either wants to play, or she wants food, or she wants, and so as long as she knows this is not the time for that, like, other things happen during this period of time, then she's not going to ask for it. Like, she's wonderfully routinized in that way.
I don't know that I've ever heard the word routinized.
Routinized.
before.
I don't know. Is that not a word? I just made it.
I don't know. Maybe. I
word now.
don't
My
know
word.
that I've come across it before.
Routinized.
And it would make sense that you'd be the one to teach it to me.
Anyway, I don't know. So what was your question? Oh, do I am I quiet when I get up? Yes, I'm quiet.
I think you've answered my
kind
question.
What kind of question was that?
I don't know anymore. But it was
Of course
answered,
I'm
I feel
quiet
like.
when I-